There's a gaming company that makes some games I like called like The Witcher. I don't know if you ever saw me play them or not. Anyway,
Witcher, I feel like I've heard of that.
yeah. So they also own this other company called GOG, Good Old Games, which sells like older games without like this. It's called DRM, dynamic.
Oh, Josh is trying to explain DRM to Lily. Greatest ever.
The store where like if all of a sudden the store goes belly up, you know they take.
Oh my god.
Yeah, kind of like that. Anyway, and so they're
definitely have time for this.
Again, like I said, you can't really link that to me, so we'll see. But yeah,
I think we have a cold open.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure, why not? Everybody, and welcome to episode 33 of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how we'd rather be playing games than
not recording this podcast.
Wait, no, I thought it was than recording this podcast. Either way.
I'd rather be playing than not recording.
No,
it's kind of a double negative.
Yeah, you kind of fucked that up.
Hey, it works.
Let's try that again.
No, that's right. I'd rather be playing than, because not recording is bad, so I would prefer to be playing than not recording.
But if you're not recording, you could be playing games.
Well,
you'd rather be playing than recording this
that's
podcast.
Not true, because I did neither, so.
Let's try that again!
No, this is good. Let's roll with this.
All right, fine. I'm Josh.
I have not been here for a very long time and forgot how this works. I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo.
So, faithful listeners, if you're still there,
please.
For the past 2 months, the three of us have kind of been in a bit of a rut with our personal lives, and the podcast ended up kind of taking a back seat, sadly. We've kind of got our shit together at this point, so we're back.
Don't oversell it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that a podcast about how we'd rather be playing than doing grown-up stuff would have had time off for us doing grown-up stuff?
Well, I mean, just because we've complained about it for 32 episodes doesn't mean that stuff just goes away.
Yeah, indeed.
As much as I would like it to.
It's pretty amazing that we made it so far uninterrupted.
Oh, this is not the episode for self-congratulation.
We did.
that was all of the episodes that we did one after another. This is not that one.
No, this is the Stuart Smiley version of our podcast, where we're like, things were down for a couple months, but you know what? We're good enough, we're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like us.
Debatable, but
you're ruining our self-affirmation, Elliot. All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, everyone. I know we've been gone for a little bit, but we're trying to get back up on that horse. And in that downtime, despite not actually doing the recording, we have managed to play some games, or rather, I've managed to play some games.
Josh played all the games, all of the games. Also, he owns all of the games now.
But most importantly, this is our deep dive spoiler chat into Beyond Two Souls. Oh, wait.
Yes, we're going to have a deep dive spoiler chat to Beyond Two Souls. It will last about a minute, and I would not worry about running into spoilers during the podcast. We will not have an extra section after this, because if we did, that would just be kind of pointless.
Actually, quick spoiler alert. None of us played it.
No. I played it, a bit of it.
I played some of it as well. Played enough.
But we'll get into that. All right, guys. So
yeah,
it's been 2 months. What the hell's been going on? How about you, Elliot?
We like, just to riff off of that, we have, not to leave it on the disappointing note of not talking about the fabulous Beyond Two Souls, we did play I think between the three of us, between the two of you, played just about all the new releases that came out one way or the other through our loopholes, which we have mostly held to, I think.
Mostly? What did I do, Elliot? I know you're looking at me. What did I do, huh?
I'm not pointing fingers, but Josh played all of the games, and neither of us bought them for him. But
I did not spend any money. That was my own.
Didn't spend any money on them.
Nepotism. Does that apply here? His nephew bought all the games. That's what nepotism means.
No,
right?
it's called charging him rent, and he paid me in games. He's over 18. He can pay rent now.
Yeah, so we have a full docket actually, which we should because we've been gone for so long, and it's pretty much carried entirely by Josh. Because you've got Spider-Man, you've got Dragon Quest XI, you've got even old games, which was the original point of this podcast. You've got Fallout, you've got Diablo 2. Yeah, man. Way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I ended up losing my job about a month or so back, and have been trying to kind of figure things out. I've got a bunch of applications in. I'm not honestly that worried, but I've had some downtime. So I've had some time to play some games. So in between catching up on a bunch of TV shows and things I wanted to watch, I pulled up my laptop and decided, I'm going to play back. I'm going to replay some of the older games that I played just because I was kind of in a funk. Didn't really want to dive into anything new, but wanted something, old and comforting. So the first thing I pulled out was the original Fallout, for PC.
Nice.
If all you've played are Fallout 3 or New Vegas or Fallout 4, Fallout 1 and 2 are completely different. I mean, it's the same kind of like humor and same kind of like world you're in, but it's not first person. It's not a shooter. It's more like a tactical RPG. Everybody like moves on a hex grid. You have action points per turn, in which case you move and attack.
Whoa. It's turn-based?
Yeah, it's turn-based. You know that?
Yeah.
I always thought it was just like isometric action.
No.
Yeah.
It's turn-based. Like, so
Dang.
you have the main character. And so the main character's goal is he's a member of Vault 13. And Vault 13's water chip, the thing that provides water to their vault, goes on the fritz, and you need to leave the vault and go find a new one. That's literally the whole plot, or the whole like MacGuffin of the game, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And so you set off out of the vault and try and go find a new water chip out in California, basically. And California this is obviously in, I can't remember, it's like the 2100s or late 2000s or something, after nuclear fallout and whatnot. And there are some civilizations, but it's the same sort of thing you've seen in like the later Fallout games. There's raiders everywhere. There's mutants. Mm-hmm. There's, the same stuff you've sort of come to see. But again, like I mentioned earlier, it's not played out in a first-person perspective. You go to a new area, you move on a hex grid, depending on your special stats, special being strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, or luck.
Wow.
You can move a certain amount of points per turn. Attacking costs a certain amount of points per turn. And then once you're done with your turn, you hit end turn, and the enemy takes their turn. And it just goes back and forth like that.
Is it anything like Divinity Original Sin?
I mean, it's similar in that it's turn-based. Like the general functionality of how it works is yes, but it's
and the number of points that you use to do things.
Yeah, so like moving one space costs 1 AP. Moving 2 spaces costs 2, whatever. One space per AP, and and you can have up to a maximum of 10 AP. I mean, I think technically you can go over if you kind of like break the game, but 10 AP for all intents and purposes is your max. So like firing the pistol that I have may cost 4 AP, so I can only move 6 spaces before I want to fire once.
Yep.
Or I can move 2 spaces and fire twice. And so distance matters. The further are you away, the lower your chance to hit is. You have things like the armor you're wearing depending, affects how well you're able to be hit or how much defense you have. No magic or anything. Again, it's Fallout. Pretty much all damage is done via weapons. Or
had you played it before, Josh? Had you played it back in the day?
Yeah, way back when. I've played Fallout and Fallout 2, and they're both amazing games. They're just
still they hold up.
Yes, they do. They're a little antiquated in some respects. Like the voice acting is cheesy. The characters you meet it's okay, and the stories are okay to decent. I wouldn't call them like amazing or anything.
So what's the best thing about it? Yeah, what is it that grabs you? The world?
The world is great. I mean, like it's it's different than the new Fallout games in the sense that like if talking to NPCs finds you new things to do rather than just kind of like, go to this quest marker, go to this quest marker, things like that. Nothing is really spelled out for you, so you kind of have to figure out how to do things. And there's multiple ways to tackle many different things, despite this being a game from the early 90s. Like even the final boss, you can talk your way through the final boss. You don't have to fight him.
Yeah.
Depending on how you've built your guy. So like
would I get lost much in this game? That's my first question.
So yes and no. There are not a lot of locations. Like I think overall there's like 15, maybe 20 locations, and they're not like super big or anything. So I don't think you'd ever get lost so much as trying to figure out what your next steps are. Like if I go over here, I get massacred by mutants, or if I go here, I get killed by radiation. Which one do I go to first in order to not die?
And for that reason, would you recommend like someone like me play this with a guide, or do you think like I could get through it with just sending you a text at 11 p.m. in the evening from time to time?
With Fallout 1 and 2, the only thing I would really recommend a guide for would be building your character to begin with.
Yeah.
Because you start out by allocating your special points, you choose some initial perks or traits, and you can kind of figure out perks on your own. I mean, when I first played through the games, I did not have a guide at all. I kind of just figured it out as I went along. So it is doable that way.
Sure, but think about this: two things. One, that was back when you were a kid, presumably, and had way more time to play these. And two, you are significantly better at games than me.
Yeah, so like I said, I would recommend a guide just so first, kind of pick like the kind of person you want to play. Do you want to pick like a smooth talker? Do you want to pick someone that's good with like rifles, someone that's good with up close attacks? Kind of decide what you want to do up front, and then there are builds out there that you can kind of go with. Say, okay, set your strength to 5 for this, your perception to 9, your agility to 9, your intelligence to like 3. Speaking of intelligence, if you lower your intelligence enough, you only speak with like you can technically play the entire game not speaking a word because your character is technically a moron. I would recommend picking a build maybe to begin with and kind of going from there just to make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That said, it is an old enough game that I think you can screw yourself if you pick like a really bad build, but I think there is some leeway there. Like even like a decent build will get you through the game. So like an idiot with no battle skills can realistically survive in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Well, the thing is like if you drop your intelligence to like nothing, you've got to put those points somewhere else. And ideally, they're probably going to like, perception, which helps your gun attacks, agility, which helps your AP. Can you not use points? Could you just be like, I'm
yeah, but you probably die a lot.
I'm pretty sure you have to allocate all your initial points.
Okay.
So they have to go somewhere.
That's fair. I just wanted, because I feel like I could see a lot of those self-imposed restrictions, those like challenges that people do with speedruns and stuff like that. Just trying to do like a no AP run.
Honestly, there might be. I have never tried it, so I just don't know.
I'm surprised, Josh. I feel like you would be the guy to try it.
Well,
Josh has too many new games to play in 2018, Elliot. He doesn't need to add those kind of things to his list.
I already finished the platinum. But so the reason I wanted to go back and play Fallout was because back in the day, I played it like normally, but I was kind of curious. I'm like, well, what's like an optimal way to play this game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I beat the game within like 6-7 hours this time. I mean, a normal playthrough would probably take you like 30 or something. But this time I generally knew where things were. I knew how to do it, but I wanted to like, okay, what build and things should I be shooting for in order to just like kind of run through this game? And
wow,
it was kind of interesting the way to play it that way, because there's definitely ways to break it.
Yeah. And well, see, that kind of thing sounds interesting to me. I would want you to tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell you like the initial thing and then just say go. I wouldn't tell you like the steps involved, but I'd say go have fun. But yeah, Fallout 1 is you can play it on a toaster. It's a great game. I would recommend anyone who's a fan of strategy RPGs to play it. I mean, even if you're just kind of curious and you've played Fallout 3 or later, it's kind of neat to see where the game has come from since then.
Yeah, totally. It definitely has a draw for me. Like I think I've got it on Steam at some point, and I would love to dig into that as well. I actually just installed it the other day. out of curiosity, and haven't booted it yet. But
question for me would be though 1 or 2, because I always hear the story of Fallout 2 is unmissable. That is one that you should go back for.
Honestly, I don't know if I choose. I feel like I'd have to say play both, just because two does improve on a lot of stuff from 1. Although 2's intro is terrible, and you just want to get through it as quickly as you can. But it does do a lot of things better than 1. But they are very, very, very similar, and the plot of 1 does tie directly into 2. So, Fallout 1 is relatively short. Fallout 2 is quite a bit longer.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like, again, I'm sure you can look up what happens in 1, and it's not that much of you're not really missing out on that much, but just because they're both fun to play games, and I feel like it's just a part of gaming history that you kind of should feel like you should take part in. I would play both of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
So other than Fallout, I also decided, because again, I've got nothing better to do with my time, and I get this itch every now and again. And the game first came out in, God, I want to say 1996. I'm probably losing my mind, but I feel like it's 1996. Every like 3 years or so, I get this urge to reinstall Diablo 2.
No, wait. Didn't number 1 come out in 96?
Maybe that's right. Maybe
and 2. Let me. Okay,
maybe
so 2 came out. Yeah, 2 came out in the year 2000.
Okay, 2000. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I was thinking Diablo 1. Sorry. Anyway, every 3 years or so, I get this urge to reinstall Diablo 2, because when it first came out, I played the ever-loving shit out of it. And I installed it on my grandma's computer, and when I did that, she thought I had installed a virus, and she never trusted me with computers ever again, despite the fact that I have a computer science degree, and I've also worked with my computers my entire life. So
I love the idea of your grandma just turning on her computer and just seeing like the devil come out.
She is a very religious woman, so I can see that happening, actually. So there's a running gag with one of my friends and his mom. When he would play, as a kid, he started playing Diablo a lot, and the running joke was his mom would walk in and be like, "This game doesn't make me want to praise God," because his mom was very religious.
As all moms tend to be, I think.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I digress. So when Diablo 2 first came out, I loved it because I loved the original one, and the second one just improved upon it in pretty much every single way imaginable. I had played through initially as an Amazon, as a Boazon, and then they released the expansions pack, Lord of Destruction, which added a whole new act to it, kind of similar to what they did with Diablo 3. And they also nerfed the Boazon quite a bit, which pissed me off. But yeah, like I said, every 3 years, I kind of get this itch. I reinstall it. I start making a sorceress, because the sorceress is the easiest character you can make to like farm shit and get better items for all your other characters you want to make. This time though, I made a necromancer first, and it's been actually going pretty well. But so if you play Diablo 1 or Diablo 3, it's the same damn game. It's a loot-based RPG.
How long does playthrough take you in Diablo 2?
Well, it depends. So like your first time through, if you're playing solo by yourself, probably take you like 20 hours, 25 hours maybe.
How long would it take you now, Josh?
Well, so here's the thing. So because the game is a loot-based RPG, like I don't care about the story. I've played it. I know the story, whatever. It's okay, whatever. Who cares? But the whole point is to make your numbers more numberier, you know? Yeah. And so what you do is you play it online on Battle.net, and there's still people playing it to this day. Like there's tons of people still playing the damn game online, and you just get someone to rush you through the game. And so you finish normal difficulty in like an hour. You finish nightmare difficulty in like another hour, and then you finish hell difficulty in maybe like another hour or two. So you technically, there are some like things in between where you grind to get to a certain level, because like, so for instance, in the early part of the game, there's a place in Act 1 called Tristram. You should level there until you're level 15, and then you do runs in the tombs until level 24. Then once you hit level 24, you go kill the ancients in normal mode, because that gives you an automatic level to 25. Then you grind Baal until level 40. Then you move on to nightmare mode, in which point you just keep going until you hit ancients, get that level, grind Baal until 60 to 70, kill Baal. Then you move on to hell mode, and you're there from 70 to 99. And so there's like, people have like spent their lives basically calculating all this shit out for you. So you just kind of follow along and say, okay, well, I need to do X, Y, and Z, and then I can just start grinding for the items that I want. So like right now, I've got a necromancer who basically has everything I need, but I've got a sorceress, an Amazon, an assassin, a paladin, and a barbarian who I also want to kit out, and I need to grind with my necromancer to get them their gear. So it's a stupid feedback loop with fucking getting loot. That's all. There is literally no reason for me to be doing this because there's no satisfaction at the end of the game. It's not like, okay, I've decked out my sorceress, I've saved the world in real life.
Whoa, wait, question though. But you have just been given a new loot-based game for free on PlayStation 4.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 is free now.
That wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
I thought you were kidding. I thought you were thinking of something
like,
else.
why wouldn't you just go play that?
Because I've done everything in Destiny 2. Well, the base game, I'm not buying the expansion, one, because I can't, and two, I don't want to. I've done everything.
Stop you last time.
Yeah, it did.
When did you play Destiny 2?
What?
When it first came out, he played it.
I played Destiny 2 when it first came out. What are you talking about?
No, Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Destiny 2 when it first came out.
You don't remember?
You bought Destiny 2?
Yeah.
I remember Elliot buying it.
No, Josh bought it.
No,
Josh had
Elliot bought it on PC later. I bought it on PS4.
He platinumed it in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know if I platinumed it because I never did the raid on like.
I thought you. Oh, yeah.
The raid on the perfect mode or whatever the hell it's called. I don't think
got as far as he
But
could.
I thought the joke was that you wouldn't buy Destiny 2 because when you bought Destiny, we all fell off it so quickly.
No, he wouldn't buy it on PC because he already played it on PS4.
Yeah. The joke was I wasn't going to buy it again to play with you scrubs.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
because
I got burned. I got burned by Destiny 1 with you assholes. But Destiny 2, like thinking back, I was like, you know what? I got $60 worth of entertainment from the first Destiny with the amount that I played it. So I felt like it was okay for me to play Destiny 2 because even if the next expansion sucks or like they fuck up like they did with Destiny 1, which they did, I felt okay because the initial game was still fun enough that I got to play it for $60 worth of time and I was fine with it.
Okay, so in answer to my question, Josh, why didn't you play the game that you haven't played yet? The answer, of course, I should have known was I have played that and platinumed it. Thanks.
Again, I don't think I platinumed it. That said, I do have The Division sitting on my PS4. I should just play that.
Jeez.
Next.
For my birthday, like when you guys gave me my Sony credit, Division was like $5. So I was like, all right. So I grabbed it in there.
Is that as looty as Destiny? I feel like
it's kind of similar. It's
okay. I know like the game.
I haven't really gotten to the end game, so I'm not sure what
similar.
it's like with like uniques or legendaries or whatever. But like, yeah, as you play the game, you're like, oh, this weapon is slightly better than my current weapon. I'm gonna pick it up and swap it out, sort of thing. So it does do that. All right, so one more big one, and this one's not a retro game. This is one that I picked up for my birthday. When you guys gave me my credit, I pre-ordered Dragon Quest XI because I'm a huge Dragon Quest fan. I love the series, and I'm a late comer to the Dragon Quest games. Never had a Nintendo. I remember as a kid playing Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior 4 for like the first time, and I was like, this is fun, but it's all right. And then later on in life, once I ended up playing 4 again and kind of really, really enjoying it. And then like soon after I played it, they announced 4, 5, and 6 for DS. And I went through and played all of them. And then 8 came out for PS2, and oh my god, 8 is so good. It is so goddamn good.
It's super British.
It is. But anyway, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 11 came out for PlayStation 4 recently, and PC. And while I did get it on PS4, if you haven't picked it up, I recommend getting it on PC. Because there is a mod that adds the orchestrated music to the soundtrack rather than the crappy MIDI music that you have in the game. Anyway.
And it's not just that the sound quality is bad, but from what I've heard on all accounts, it is by far the worst Dragon Quest soundtrack in like the history of the series. So here's
the thing though. The Dragon Quest soundtrack period has been basically the same the entire series. I don't know how anyone says one is ever worse or better than the other. The only thing that's changed are like the battle music and the world music.
Yeah,
the town music's the same. On the boat music's the same. It's all the same shit.
The composer is still a monster.
Yeah, Anyway, I'll come back to that. But anyway, so Dragon Quest XI is the 11th game in the esteemed Dragon Quest series. It's the first single player Dragon Quest in a while. The last one was Dragon Quest 9 on the
Are
DS.
you counting spin-offs when you say the 11th? Because there's like Dragon Quest Monsters.
Yeah, there's a million spin-offs.
I'm just messing
in the
with
main
you right
series,
now.
jackass.
You're
And so in Dragon Quest XI, you play this generic looking anime guy who is drawn by Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball Z fame. You will know this because everybody in the game looks like a Dragon Ball Z character.
and Chrono Trigger.
Yes, but Dragon Ball Z primarily. And you are the reincarnation of the Luminary, which is the guy that will be there to save the world from darkness. It's the most unique plot I've ever seen in an RPG.
Is it the same plot in every Dragon Quest game?
No, but yes.
Yeah.
It's the same general idea, like, oh no, as darkness is overcoming the land, you must be the one to save it. There are slight variations on this, like in Dragon Quest V, it's not you, it's your son who's the chosen hero.
And 1 through 3 have a really cool take on
yeah,
because they're kind of a and I don't mean to, it kind of spoils 3 to say that like all 3 are part of like the same series, but you don't find it out towards the end. But like, you know, there are really enjoyable twists on the formula, but they're not gonna like break your brain.
Many of them are still playable now.
I won't spoil it.
All of them.
I won't spoil it.
I know, but I mean, how many of them could you actually go back to and still enjoy at this point?
So
I'm playing old ones right now.
So 3 and onward, I would recommend are fine.
Yeah, for sure.
2 is fine, but it's fucking hard at certain points. One's worth a playthrough just to kind of see how like RPGs have evolved, because it's such a classic example of like
Not
where
looking
we
for a
come
history
from.
lesson. I mean,
And it's very quick.
not from playing the game. I am looking for a history lesson from you.
Okay,
on this
Elliot.
series.
Well, all right, Stevo. So in 1776, we kicked your ass. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, history lesson. Sorry.
If in terms of going back, the only ones you need to play are 3, 5, and 8. Really, those are like the most groundbreaking ones.
And are they fun?
Yes, absolutely.
So
3
so here's how I would describe Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest games are good RPGs in the sense that like they never really do anything out of the ordinary, but what they do spectacularly.
Yeah.
Like you should not walk into a Dragon Quest game going, I'm expecting something imaginative, I'm expecting something innovative.
Okay, so never expect a Chrono Trigger and never expect Final Fantasy VI. Is it meant to be amazing?
Like,
But those are the
Yeah.
Final Fantasies change more. Like the Dragon
Yeah.
Quests are pretty much the same game, but just refined in different ways.
Okay, so I could just as easily play this new one and forget about all the rest.
Yeah,
I would say
you
yes.
totally
That said, there are differences in them. Like the way I really like 8. So for instance, let's put it this way. So Dragon Quest 8 has 4 characters. That's it. You have 4 party members. Although the 3DS version does add 2 extra ones, but I never played it, so whatever. Anyway, you have 4 characters the entire game. Dragon Quest 11 has 8 characters, and you can swap freely between them, build them how you like. But like their personalities and how they interact with the party, it's the games are all just kind of charming is probably the best way I'd put it.
Mhm.
They don't, like I said, they don't do anything groundbreaking, but what they do is build a world and a party and characters, and they do it really, really, really well.
Yeah.
Like I said, largely you're not going to find like big twists or a lot of things that are hugely different between the games, but you're when you pick up a Dragon Quest game, you know you're going to have a good time. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
It's also amazing because it's the same 3 main original creators from the very first game that have worked on every single one, like from the director, scenario writer, the character designer, and the composer. And I don't think you can say that about any other game
that's
series.
kind of amazing,
ever.
and they still sell. That's
They
one
still
of the
sell.
most
They're
amazing things.
insanely popular in Japan.
Yeah, like so Dragon Quest in Japan, it's known that like school is canceled on the day that Dragon Quest comes out because people will buy it.
People just skip class by it.
We got that.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, so like So yeah, like I said, there's minor differences between how the games play. Like Dragon Quest 3 was the first one that gave you like a job system. Dragon Quest 4, you had specific characters, and it was played in like a chapter system where you play as these characters in chapter 1, these characters in chapter 2, 3, 4, and then in 5 they all kind of come together and you play through that. Chapter 5 has like a generational system where you have kids, and you can also recruit monsters to fight for you. Chapter 6 is kind of like a mix of, Dragon Quest 6 is kind of like a mix of 4 and 5 in the sense that you have set characters and monsters. 7 is like this time travel-y long 100-hour game, like 100 hours to beat the game, not like side quests and shit, just 100 hours to beat the goddamn game.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Quest 8, you're stuck with like 4 specific characters and you build them how you like. Dragon Quest 9, you build your party like 3. You pick a job, that character has that job, and you can kind of build them how you want. And then 11, you go back to the more, you have these characters, they all have specific roles, play your party as you like. But yeah, I loved it. I plowed through the game. I was very happy to get the platinum. I started a new game because they added in the initial they actually added this to begin with where there's no hard mode per se, but you could add restrictions to your game. Like you cannot buy stuff from shops, meaning you have to rely on stuff you find or craft. You cannot wear armor, meaning you cannot defend yourself. You basically have to only use weapons. Or like enemies give less experience, enemies drop less gold. And there's one or two more that I'm not thinking of. But I've just kind of wanted to see how it works out. And I've been playing it so far, and so far it's not too bad. It's definitely a little bit more grinding than the basic game, but it's just, I don't know. It's a fun game. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that loves RPGs. Even if you've never played a Dragon Quest game, it's just a charming, fun game that you will not have any issues with.
Yeah.
And it's so well refined. It's so well perfectly like I heard that the Japanese version still 1.0 hasn't been patched, hasn't needed to be adjusted, hasn't been like it comes out and it's been cooked for like the right amount of time, and it's just a really well balanced game.
It's like I said, I wouldn't go into it expecting anything like mind blowing or anything, but if you just want a good game, pick a Dragon Quest game up, and you'll be happy with what you picked up. I did platinum it, by the way. Speaking of another game I've platinumed during this time, I'm actually going to hand it over to Stevo to talk about what he's done so far.
Oh, Josh, my great friend Josh.
We're friends?
Spider-Man, the second big blockbuster of the year, as I see it, after God of War. I know there's others in there, but for me, like true Western blockbusters, the two of the year have been God of War and Spider-Man. The two that I've been chomping at the bit to play and not being able to play, obviously.
Nobody played Spider-Man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because of hashtag no new games 2018.
I know. That thing's been a pain, I tell you.
And lads, my birthday was coming up, and I was looking forward to it. Finally getting some fucking games this year. I deserve them.
If we're not using it as the cold open, you should tell the story again.
So when friend of the show, Mike from Pod Nerdy, gave me a shout and told me he had platinumed Spider-Man and that he could lend it to me, I was over the moon. I was absolutely, oh yes, come on. When we record the next episode of the podcast, I'm going to bring the box with me. And as we're chatting about it, as we're discussing it on the podcast, I'm talking about what the guys might buy me for my birthday. I'm going to flip up the box and I'm going to be like, in your face, Josh, I've got Spider-Man.
I was trying to keep it a secret. I didn't tell either of you.
You have to buy me something else. I was looking forward to this so much. The one moment after all of the slights this year, after having to wait 10 months, after Josh's nephew buying him every game in the world, I was thinking finally a moment of joy, a moment of vindication, you know? And what happens? Elliot sends me a screenshot a couple of days before we record this. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it's a screenshot of Josh's PSN profile. And what's he playing? Spider-Man. Of course he is. Of course he is.
I didn't want to say anything. I was hoping to surprise you.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
I have no control over what my nephew buys.
The one.
It's really the best part is I haven't played any video games in like 6 weeks.
A year.
And it was it was like the one time I jumped on my PS4 and serendipitous.
Yeah, man.
You
I wonder
ruined
what
it.
I've even noticed. Like,
Elliot,
God.
you ruined it. I could have shut Stevo down so hard.
God, I think I would have cried. I think I would have cried on a podcast, guys.
I know that is quality entertainment. That is what our listeners crave.
But anyway, I can still enjoy Spider-Man. Damn it, I'm not a bitter person.
Bullshit.
It is, and it is a fantastic game. Let it be said,
yes.
lads. It takes a lot from another amazing game that for some reason Josh hasn't even fucking played yet. Josh, Batman, Arkham.
Yeah.
This has a bit of Arkham in it. Like, it's got quite a lot of Arkham in it, actually. The combat, it completely takes from Arkham, and
I've heard a lot of good things, just never. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you play?
It was never at the top of my list.
Did you play the Lord of the Rings game, Shadow of Mordor?
No, I did not.
No, it was another one, which again, like, borrowed heavily from the Batman combat, which is really satisfying. It really packs a punch. Variety of different enemy types mean that you have to switch things up, using different moves, dodging at the right time, using gadgets at the right time. But when you do it as Batman, you really feel like Batman. And when you do it as Spider-Man, you really feel like Spider-Man. It's very satisfying.
Combat
Similarly,
is so much fun.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It is the blockbuster I've been waiting for all year. It's like playing another Batman game. Elliot, did you play 4 of the Batman games? You played
them all, yeah.
You beat them all. Arkham Asylum, Arkham what was the second one?
Wait a minute,
Arkham
Elliot
City?
plays games?
This is ages ago. But yeah, Arkham Asylum, City, Origins, and Night.
Damn, you beat them all. I'm impressed.
I love those games.
Yeah, I beat the 3 main ones. I haven't beaten Origins yet, and I think I'm gonna play it around Christmas because it's set at Christmas time, isn't it?
It is. It's great for Christmas,
Yeah.
and especially after Night being so bad, and you still have a good one out there that you haven't finished.
Totally.
It's great.
Yeah. So combat is amazing in Spider-Man. The traversal actually borrows a hell of a lot from the Arkham City traversal. It really reminds me of that. And
How do you traverse in Arkham City? Because I never played.
You sling webs. You just like
You're basically using the grappling gun. So you're firing the grappling gun, hitting a point in the air. It is rocketing you forward. It's kind of like the launch move that you can do, where you're slinging a web. And as you boost towards it and flip off of whatever you've webbed onto, it catapults you forward. So again, it borrows a lot from Batman here.
So I'll say I did try to resist, but then I saw my nephew web slinging throughout New York, and I was like, I gotta.
I know.
It looks so much fun.
It's so satisfying. The movement, the way you dip and then rise and launch off when you're swinging around the city, like when you're searching for the collectibles. You just want to do that sometimes. Like, so I've hit 30% completion so far, and I think I've only done maybe 2-3 main missions. Wow. I've just been so sidetracked by the collectibles. There's so much
I will say this: do the side stuff as you progress at what you can, because I got to the end and my last platinum was like doing all the crimes. And I just had to sit there and wait because there's like 140 of them across the damn game.
Oh no!
And it's just like, okay, come on, just one more. Oh, there. I mean, it only takes like 2-3 minutes in between to like wait for the next one to trigger, but you're just like, all right.
So do them as you see them popping up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, don't get completely sidetracked, but like, yeah, and the nice thing is that like it won't trigger a crime that you haven't done before. Like if you need 5 thug crimes and like 5 of the next type of crimes, if you've done all the thug crimes, it will only trigger the next one, so you won't have to like repeat. Thankfully,
and when you're actually doing the crimes as well, So it's things like it's mostly just combat stuff. There's a few car chases as well, where you're swinging after a car. You have to hop onto it. You have to knock out the bad guys, and then
there's the car chase. There's just taking out the enemies, and then the other one I think is like taking out the enemies plus saving people from a car wreck, sort of thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
those are really the only ones I think.
They do seem a little bit repetitive.
They are, which is why I recommend doing them like as you go, because if you end up like me, where at the end of the game I had like, I don't know, like 50 crimes I had left to do to get the platinum, and so I just went to each suburb, each borough of New York, getting the ones that I needed. And I'm just sitting there on a ledge waiting for each one to trigger. Yeah, that one kind of got repetitive at that point. Because there's just a lot to do for those.
So when you're actually doing the crimes, Josh, there is a couple of like challenge badges almost that you can tick off as you're doing them. What I was wondering was, so for example, it'll tell you, hit 3 enemies by launching an object at them, and so on, or maybe use like aerial attacks or using certain types of attacks. So when you do a crime and you check off those things, does that consider that one done? Because I've seen those ones pop up again, even though I've checked off the 2 challenges. Do I need to redo that, or at that point can I ignore that one at least?
Yeah, no. So the way it works is each crime has 2 extra challenges that you can do, which give you those challenge tokens. So like, if like I don't remember the specific challenges you have to do, but let's take the one where you're stopping an armed robbery in like a jewelry store or something. I think one of the quests or challenges there is to web like 5 of the enemies to the walls, and the other one is, I don't know, throw 3 objects at enemies, something like that. Once you do that, if you ever do the armed robbery one again, those will remain checked off. I mean, if you didn't do them, they'll remain unchecked until you do them.
Cool. So, but if an armed robbery comes up, I still have to do that. Because like sometimes when I was looking at it, I was like,
you don't have
I've done the two challenges. But I mean, in order to get the platinum potentially.
So if you look on your map, each borough has like X amount of, like, you only have to do 5 thug crimes in each area. And there's 4 tiers of crimes. There's thug, I won't spoil it, I won't spoil it, I won't spoil it. There's 5 crimes of each type you have to do. So like, if you don't have the extra challenge shit you have to do, like the web enemies to walls and stuff, those don't count towards the platinum. Those just help you get challenge tokens in order to upgrade stuff.
Okay, nice. So in other words, as you say, when things pop up, I should be doing them. Because to be honest, guys, this is a game I want a platinum. Between like just how fun it is, moving around, the how fun the combat is, but more than that, the collectibles, man, are so enjoyable just to find them. And as well, they're little. Basically, the hook is that Peter's left these old backpacks lying around, and they've got his old things in them, and the little bits of story around it, the detailed items, and he makes little quips and jokes or reminisces about like the spider plushie, or like a bill from a date he went on with MJ, like the first date he ever went on, and like just like fun little pieces of character and world building. It's really nice.
Yeah, so I'll let me try and say this without spoiling anything. So the one thing I really, really, really liked about the game was the dialogue. I mean, I know you're not super far in.
Yeah.
But even the dialogue in the game is just incredible. Like the way people talk to each other and just how they react. And I don't know if you read, there was an article on Kotaku about a specific scene in the game.
I've avoided it specifically. Yeah, I saw a headline and I was like, I'm not reading it.
I recommend avoiding it. But like just the way that scene is done, which is all done through like text messages, is just awesome.
Cool. I'll look forward to that.
There are some great scenes and dialogue throughout the game.
The chemistry between Peter and MJ is just so good. You just like these people. You just empathize with them. You just want them to work out, you know? And I've only seen like a few scenes between them, but just the way she like jokes about and messes with him, and like it's just funny and natural and entertaining. It's really cool.
I have to say something, and it will not. I promise I won't spoil who says it or anything. But there's a line late in the game where Spider-Man makes a Rocky joke, and the guy he's fighting is like, "Spider-Man, I must break you," and he's like, "Oh my God, you got my joke. That almost makes me not want to fight you." That line right there, like the delivery was just amazing and is the best part of the game. I don't care who said it was so good.
That's it as well. He's like. The characters, or sorry, the acting is so good. He's such a good Peter Parker. He's such a good Spider-Man. And like I've only watched like the what do you call it? What's the main Spider-Man cartoon that used to be on?
Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Josh, what else is worth talking about in this game apart from just how goddamn good? I want to go play it now.
Oh God, let me think. So
speaking of the dialogue, just real quick, I heard that they recorded every line in the game twice.
Yeah.
For like one with like normal and one with like when he's out of breath, like if he's been swinging or if he's straining or something like that.
That's so cool.
So
Such a cool touch.
Yuri Lowenthal does the voice acting for Spider-Man. And I mean, he's done the voice acting for like a million characters. He's a relatively famous voice actor in the gaming industry.
Yeah,
but he's not like an amazing job as Peter Parker.
He's not the one that did like the Amazing Spider-Man voice, is he? Like the way they got Kevin Conroy to do Batman Arkham.
So
that'd be crazy. I doubt it, but
Josh, what I would say to you though, man, is after playing this, go back to Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Really, give it another go, man.
It's a game I've definitely wanted to play because I hear it's somewhat Metroidvania-like also.
Totally. Yeah, it's completely Metroidvania. And as well, it's got the Riddler trophies. The collectibles are just as fun and just as, like, you would have a ball 100% in it. You would. It's absolutely up your alley.
All right, hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it and start installing it.
New roulette game.
I'll wait till after we're done talking, so I don't kill our screen here. But
oh no, wait! If you've played them all,
you guys have already played it, so
I can always play those games, except Night.
But yeah, so Stevo, let me think here. So here's how I'd recommend playing it: is open up the world as much as you can by going to the towers.
Yep.
Do crimes as you see them. I mean, at the end of the game, I think even though you may do crimes as you see them, you'll still have plenty to do to get your damn platinum.
I know what you mean when you say that, but it still sounds awesome.
Dude,
talk about Spider-Man doing crimes. Make sure you commit all the crimes you can.
Grand Theft Spider-Man. But yeah, and then the other thing I'd say, so in order to get the platinum, at some point you will run into these challenges you have to do. Okay.
Yep.
What I would do, there's like 4 different types of challenges. One of them is a lot more of a pain in the ass than the other. I will just tell you that right now. To get the platinum, you need to get gold in all of them, except for the okay. So let's pick. So let's say, so like I said, there's 4 types of challenges. You need to get gold in all of the challenges in 3 of those categories, and then gold in only 1 of the other category, and then silvers in the rest. Does that make sense?
No, but anyway, I feel like you should tell me which ones to do closer to the time.
Okay, the drone challenges fucking suck. I will tell you that right now. So there's like stealth ones, there's combat ones, and there's bomb ones. Those ones, get gold in all of those. The drone ones, they're fucking terrible. I hated them. You need to get silver in all of those, but gold in 1 of them. And then you'll be able to, that's all the tokens you need in order to unlock your shit. So
sounds good.
I hated the drone ones. I getting the gold on the one that I got.
Speaking of the unlocking, that's worth mentioning. All of the different suits that you can unlock and the different powers that go along with them. That's pretty fun stuff.
So there's one suit later on makes you look like the comic book Spider-Man. Like it's one of those things where like I love it. And the thing is, like, I'd seen it before I got it online, and it's one of those things you're like, God, I wish there was like a filter to make the entire game look like this, because you really do look like the comic book Spider-Man. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
That
And
would be really cool, man.
It's
I wonder
really
would they ever
jarring
add
to
that as
see
DLC
because
or
you're
anything.
like, God, why doesn't the rest of the world look like this? But it's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, Elliot, get Spider-Man on January 1st. Or get your nephew to buy it for you. I don't care.
My nephew's 4, so it'll be pretty much me.
Get your sister's kid. Get your sister to spend some money on your kid.
I don't have a sister, but
Or your brother.
How long have we known
Or-
each
or
other?
a kid.
I
Josh?
don't know. I can't. When you say nephew,
it's
sorry, I was thinking.
it's been like 12 years.
Get
maybe
your brother's
13
kid.
years.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the rest
And
of your
you
family.
misspelled my name earlier, and
I
you
thought
thought
it was-
I had a sister.
I thought it was Alliot. I'm sorry.
It's a common mistake.
Well, I can't help it that your parents fucked up your name.
Yeah.
Steven's parents spelled his name with an O.
Stefan.
Stevo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, we got one last game to talk about, and it's a doozy, and I'm going to let Elliot start it off.
Okay, get ready for the huge, like, intelligent fucking spoiler chat on Beyond Two Souls.
Go ahead.
The-
What were your thoughts, Elliot?
Well,
Wait, hold on. I'm getting an input from the critic. What was that? It stinks. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That was an old poll. Oh Jesus! I wonder how many listeners.
I'm
would get that one.
34. Shut up. Actually,
David.
you're both older than me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true.
That's why we got it. But we're not proud of ourselves.
All right, Elliot, go ahead.
David Cage has outdone himself once again.
in terms of what?
You mean
I think you
David
need to be-
Cage?
David
Cage.
I think Go on.
It's a David Cage game.
Yeah.
And
Game is a very fluid term here.
I don't know what it was about it. So like I enjoyed Heavy Rain. I was able to not just get through it, but I enjoyed the story. I was drawn into the mystery, figuring out who was the Zodiac.
Yeah. No,
The origami killer.
Origami.
All
All right, Jake.
But I don't know what it was about this game. It just couldn't hold my attention. I do want to, and I don't want to put too much blame on it because I think it's giving it kind of a pass, but everything being out of order really like takes you out of I think the effect he was going for was, ooh, how did these link up? Ooh, what's really going on here?
Yeah.
But you just end up being like, where am I? What happened before this? And this actually happened after the thing before. And I don't know where I'm at, and I don't.
So there
care
is
anymore.
a version of the game on the PS, and maybe it's on the PS3. On the PS4 version, you can play
the PS4 version.
You can play it chronologically.
And I played it the way the creator intended because that's how he made it. And I was like, if I was interested enough, I'd go back and do it the other way later. But I don't know. I feel like you have a little more agency than in Heavy Rain, like a little more control. But even then, well, because of that, I expected I was going to like it more. But even with that, I just maybe other games are just so much better now, and this just felt so dated.
I think so. And I think one of the big things about a game like this that's not as gameplay heavy, that's not as interactive in many ways as the games that we're used to playing, the games that really hold our attention. I feel like games like this need a bit of humor in them.
Yeah.
They need something
That's
Wait, you didn't find it humorous throwing chairs and couches at the teenagers during that scene?
like there was a time when Heavy Rain, there was nothing else like it. There was nothing to compare. Like the kind of emotions that it made you feel, no other games had done yet. Now they have. Now games with amazing gameplay have made you feel things like this. The Last of Us, again, it was just a fun game moment to moment, as well as being more hard-hitting emotionally than any of David Cage's games. Or
And Ellen Page is in that too.
Yeah.
No, You're totally right. It was very like exhaustingly overbearing, exhaustingly dark, exhaustingly serious, and the characters like Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page did everything they could with that script, but it was just not that engaging.
Like, so I mean, I've said before my absolute love for David Cage games. Faithful listeners, there.
Wait, you're the one who picked this game. How did you? With your like,
Elliot, shut up for a second.
Hating David Cage so much.
Faithful listeners, my heavy air quotes around love for David Cage. There, I had hoped that like the production of this game would be enough to like save it, because I'd heard a lot of good things about the story and the characters, and I was like, you know what? I fucking hated Heavy Rain. Maybe Beyond Two Souls did it a lot better. And to be fair, they at least made R2 not the fucking move forward button. So that's a good plus. But playing it, like, I enjoyed the characters. I had no problem with Ellen's character or Willem's character and all this. I was kind of curious to see how shit panned out, but just like, I don't know. I got to like the stealth section where I can't even remember her goddamn name now in the game, but the girl, Ellen Page's character, like became like a CIA operative, went through like her training session where she had to go do stealth.
Yeah.
So I did that section. I might have done one or two after that. And I was just sitting there going like, oh my God, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of that. A lot of I don't care.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just watch the movie. There's a point, like playing a game and having interactivity means you have some sort of outcome on how shit ends. And whether that's a game over or whatever, that's fine. I mean, yes, but the idea is that you have some sort of agency in determining how you get to that win or how you end up dying. Like, okay, I fucked up horribly because I don't know, I cast fire when I should have cast cure, or I won because I, used the right strategies or whatever. In this game, it's like, I died because I didn't press left. I pressed right. It's stupid bullshit quick time event stuff. It's like, I'd rather watch someone else play Dragon Lair than myself playing Dragon Lair. Quick time events are fucking lazy game design. I don't care if anybody sends me hate mail because of it. But it's just like, either accomplish the thing that I set out to do because I pressed the button correctly, or don't make it so that like I have to press it within let's take Mario RPG. In Mario RPG, if you attack the enemy, I'll do 8 damage. If I'm good enough, I can hit the button again and I'll do 16 damage. I can still survive the fight if I fuck that up. It's just it's so goddamn stupid. So Beyond Two Souls is one of the games, like, I am fully happy to go through and just watch a YouTube playthrough of this game because I do not want to actually interact with this bullshit story or bullshit gameplay.
The one thing I will say about this is, like, the trick wears off. The David Cage trick wears off. Heavy Rain, I really enjoyed it. It was something different. It was a good story. It was an emotional story. I just am bored. I don't want to play this. It's kind of like Telltale Games as well. Walking Dead was amazing. It told a great story in a new, gritty world that might not have been new to people who read the comics or whatever, but the way it was told, how hard-hitting it was, it really, that first Walking Dead was amazing. But every Telltale game since has been less interesting. Like, you see the cracks in the seams. The stuff that you're doing moment to moment just is kind of boring. But the way that you spice that kind of thing up is by doing what Until Dawn did. You make it funny. You make it goofy. Not take itself too seriously. Those kind of things like allow you just to enjoy the thing a little bit more because it's not so self-serious and overbearing. More games like that, and apparently on the Telltale side of things, the Tales from the Borderlands was meant to be way better because it's funny. It's a little different.
And I can agree that humor would be a good thing, but the big thing I have with games like what David Cage makes are the fail states. Telltale games do not have fail states. And yes, there are some complaints you can have about like, my decisions don't matter because even if you branch off, you still end up at the same point, only with minor differences. Like in the Walking Dead season 1, okay, I chose this person. I chose to save this person instead of this person. You know, the story branches off, but eventually that person you didn't save dies anyway, and then you end up at the end where both people are dead.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. But like, there's no fail state. And the thing with David Cage games is that like because there is a fail state means I don't know. It's like you're basically playing a game that is on rails, right? And like nothing you do will change the way the story goes except you failing. And if you fail, you just have to reboot and keep moving the story the way it goes. Yeah. And I don't want to keep doing that shit. I want to just if I want to see a story that's on rails and I can't change it and things just happen, and then okay, just show me a goddamn movie.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah,
that's totally right.
And I understand, I know Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain both had like branching storylines, and you could end up at like an ending that is not the quote unquote true ending or whatever. But it's just like I don't know if all that has stopped me from seeing the story as intended is me not pressing X at the right time. That's a shitty game.
The story also has to be worth it.
Yeah. And I've heard good things about the Beyond Two Souls story, but I do not have it in me to make myself suffer through the bullshit gameplay in order to see the story.
Yeah. I mean, on rails adventure. Like, is there anything more pointless?
Hell,
that's something like
no.
Yeah.
Sorry, David Cage. Yeah.
David Cage. All right,
well,
so
it's a good pick, Josh.
Huh?
Good pick.
Good pick. Well done.
I had hopes. I failed. I'm sorry. All right, so the last backlog roulette, which was it was 2 months ago, but it was our last episode, so we're technically breaking a rule, but we're not technically breaking a rule because we took so goddamn long to get this episode out. So the last one we had, I had picked Beyond Two Souls because I'm a fucking idiot. Elliot had picked Titanfall 2, and Stevo had picked the reboot of Ratchet and Clank. This time I'm going back to an old classic because none of us have really finished it. I'm going to pick Undertale. I've played a good amount of it. I haven't finished it. I do want to go back to it at some point. And honestly,
I played a little bit of it recently, and it seems like a funny game, which is what we're just talking about.
Which is the antithesis of a David Cage game.
That's all you need to win us over is funny games.
Yep.
I think that's, yeah.
So we're going to do a new roulette where if you roll a 1, we're going to get Undertale. If you roll a 2, we're going to get Titanfall 2. And if we roll a 3, we're going to get Ratchet and Clank. And hopefully one of these games will be enjoyable.
So I think they all will. I'm very happy to play any of these games.
I don't know how funny Titanfall 2 is. But,
oh my God, you see that guy
are.
explode? Oh my God, it was so funny. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
As I'll ever be.
Here we go. Oh, son of a bitch. All right. Well, I guess we're playing Undertale.
Woo! Indeed we are.
Which means I got to pick a new one next time. Well, two episodes from now.
Well, you've got a little time to think about it, Josh. In the meantime, we'll be playing Undertale. And also, I've been playing some games for my birthday, lads. What do you think you want to get me?
Oh, yeah.
So, I said earlier that I wanted to get you Metroid Prime Trilogy. But if you're not going to fucking play it on Wii U, then there's really no point.
Yeah, let's just wait.
So I'm going to get you some credit to play Valkyria Chronicles 4. Valkyria Chronicles 4. Sorry.
Switch.
Yeah.
By the way, Elliot, you should give him $20 so you can play Valkyria Chronicles 1 on Switch. Because you didn't finish it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Although should you just get all Switch credit?
I'm tempted.
That way you can also get Metroid Prime on Wii.
Ooh, I'm not getting anything on Wii U. Go fuck yourselves. But to be honest, oh man, there's so much else that I could get on the Switch, guys. Dead Cells, Into the Breach, which
wait, hold on. What's that?
Oh,
you already pre-ordered Red Dead Redemption? You've already started downloading it? I'm just kidding. My nephew's not home, so.
That's a good point, though. Josh will have Red Dead Redemption, but maybe that's a good reason for me not to get Red Dead Redemption.
Aren't you already getting it?
Since he's just gonna ruin the joy of it anyway. I think I gotta get Valkyrie. Yeah, screw it, lads. Just hit me with all the Switch credit that you can. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right,
can do.
I will say I want you to get Dead Cells and I want you to tell me what you think because I really want to play it, and I'm okay with you rubbing it in my face.
This should be good. Valkyrie Chronicles 4 and Dead Cells, 2 games that Josh would like to play and won't be able to play. This is going to be a great birthday. Thanks, lads. Love you both.
You know what else Josh would like to play, wouldn't be able to play?
What's that?
The new Destiny expansion. That's right. Coming right at you, buddy.
Fuck that.
Got you covered.
Dude, I got the first Destiny 1 expansion, played that for a bit, and then like 2, 3, and 4, whatever the hell it were, came out, and I was like, yeah, fuck it.
But this one's different, Josh. It's a new Bungie, remember?
Is it?
That's what they say.
Is it?
The real question, guys, is how am I going to get $7.77 on Steam so that I can get the what was it called again? Obra Dinn?
Is that really how much it is right now?
The Return of the Obra Dinn. No, the problem is I have $12.23 in credit. And it's $20. I guess it could be on sale at some point.
If only you had someone in your personal life that could help you with that.
Somebody that I could guilt into give me a bit of credit for games.
It's true.
We'll see.
All right.
In the meantime,
Elliot, take us home.
We'll find out what Stevo did end up getting and playing in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, you can check us out on ratherbycast.com. And we are on Twitter at RBPcast. I did say ratherbycast.com. Okay, yeah. I thought it said ratherbyplay.com. It's been a while. Ratherbycast.com, Twitter at RBPcast, at RBP Elliot, at RBP Josh, at RBP Stevo. We're wherever you can find your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google, YouTube, and that's pretty much any place that you can get your podcasts. Check us out there. Give us a like, a subscribe, leave us a review. 5 stars always goes a long way with us.
Hell yeah.
Or 4, but let's just stop there.
We will be back on a 2-week schedule starting from today. We apologize for the inconvenience, but our lives suck and shit happens.
But
if you want to know,
things are getting better. Come on, Josh. We believe in you. Keep on trucking, son.
I'm very happy you got a job, Stevo.
If anyone wants to start a GoFundMe page for Josh, you can reach us at questions@ratherbycast.com. And we might read your questions on the air. So
I do not take Bitcoin.
That's his caveat. I think that's everything. Did I forget something? I forgot something.
I'm sure you did, but fuck it. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Cheery, bye now.
Bye.
Bye.